Yep, so we are on live in Facebook already. Okay,
Okay.
so let's start. Okay, so I have to toggle between like these two things. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Because I want to look at my Facebook also so that I can see the people who is like joining us.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
You
because
can see it
for us,
also, I mean like on your computer.
yeah, but for us, because when we did the Facebook Live as a backup plan, so we did the
Ah,
live itself.
okay.
Uh,
So let's see, who do we have here? I mean, of course, we have Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay, and then we have Ning. Hi, I mean like Moon is saying hi, Violet and Shao Ning. Nice to see you.
Hey,
Yeah, and then we have Wan Sing as well. Yeah, remember
one
you
thing.
introduced Wan Sing to me last time. Yeah, he's watching this as well. Hi guys. So Adeline has also joined us. So quite a number have
I
joined.
see the
Quite a
live
number of people
people.
have
How come I cannot see live? I saw the.
Okay, so I think we'll jump right into it lah. So I think more and more people are joining us right now. Yeah, I also have a friend called Fion. Okay, so Shani, maybe you want to share a bit about yourself. So I'm sure you know we have a lot of our mutual friends that are watching this, but there are also people who might not have known you or might not have followed your journey so far. So maybe you want to do a intro about yourself. What have you been up to in the like last couple of years?
Okay, so very quickly, I used to be a startup owner, right? I ran my job portal together with my husband for about 11 years.
Mm.
Then we sold it, and then after that, we continued working with the company for another 2 years plus. Then we left in 2014.
Yeah.
So 14 to 15, 16, 17 was a totally different life versus previous time. It's like it's 150% to work, and then after that, you kind of like from here drop to down, right? Then you don't know what's going on with yourself.
Yes.
Then it took a while to figure out what to do with myself again. Then so in between, tried a lot of different things. And then I realized I really enjoyed working with the startups. But then how do I continue supporting them in a way that is not recreating the wheel, right? Then I also realized that it actually ties back to what we were doing a lot then, investing.
Yes.
So then decided to form an investment club called AngelCentral. So that's like my current anchor for my life now.
Yep.
But I think right now what's balancing up for me very well is that previously when running Job Central, it was very much of, I mean, we get home by 6:30 every night, but then it's really 150% of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I try to make a balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think within a week, 3 days focus on work,
Mm-hmm.
weekends always on kids, and
Mm-hmm.
then 2 days either working with my startup or do something else. Yeah, and then now, so actually the work from home, the circuit breaker not so bad for me because I actually have been working from home since the start of AngelCentral, I think 2018, that period of time. So I've been working from home already. What is difficult now is the home-based learning because instead of working from home myself and my husband, now I have another 4 that's working from home. So it's dealing with the 4 of them that's a bit tricky. But to be fair, actually the first 3 are quite okay. It's the number 4 that's very demanding. So the iPad not working, and then how do you tell time, and then that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's what my life has been about, trying to balance everything and trying to make sure that focus more on health, focus more on family, and then family not just within my immediate family, but also to the extended family, because my parents are in Taiwan. So I try to spend more time talking to them, and also having more time to link up with my cousins who are much younger than me, but in Taiwan. And then also on the Shing side, we spend a lot more time with my father-in-law. Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so Shao Ning, I think now definitely we have a lot of things to unpack from what you have just shared. So we'll do that bit by bit. But maybe before we do that, since it's called Lunch Date with Violet, so today,
Yes.
I was thinking, okay, what should I have for lunch? Yeah, so I decided to support one of our friends, like Mo, and he runs a Fat Burger. So I know Ning is very healthy. So like when I say, okay, Ning, shall we have Fat Burger? Then Shao Ning was like, okay, I'll go for a run before that. but you say that even before
I just finished showering
you just
actually.
finished showering, oh my goodness, you're super disciplined. And then the funniest thing you say is like before you could even get started, the boys already like have taken all
Yes.
the food. And
So Violet is very, very generous. Instead of buying for me, he bought for the whole household actually. So now I'm only left with this one. So when I went to the kitchen, I'm trying to get something in, I'm only left with this one.
yeah, I can't wait to like go start eating mine as well. It's like I always like love a Fat Burger. It's like it's like comfort food. Like, you see it, it's like, oh, so yummy. And then I love the milkshake. And then now they even have like the churros as well. Like I love churros. So like Ning, like I mentioned, you definitely have done a lot, since like selling the business, Job Central, and then then going into finding like what is your next passion or the next thing that you like to do. So I think like what I really like to dive a bit deeper into is a lot of times, when people think about selling their business, then they're like, oh, okay, like that's it. I'm so happy about it, and now I'm just going to chillax and things like that. So was it the feeling that you thought you would have, like after like selling the business?
So on what? So it goes back to the motivation to sell the business. I think for that period of time, also part of it's actually a lot of it's about on the personal side. There were certain financial circumstances that pushed me for that decision. But I mean, Job Central, we actually have 4 partners. So all 4 of us came to the same, for different reasons, we all came to the same conclusion. But we thought that we will continue working with the company. And that's why we stay on for an out period, and we actually completed the out period. But what I didn't put into the equation was actually the sense of ownership and also the loss of control. So the loss of control was actually something that that hit me quite hard. And so after a while, it became like so very openly in the 10 over years of running the business, I learned how to manage left, right, bottom. I never learned how to manage up. So that was actually one key lesson that and also after that, it was actually, I think it's my own personality also, right? It's actually very hard to learn that. So in a sense, after that, we've been grooming a GM. So I thought it's time that she took over, and then we focus. And also the time I had my number 4, I was like, I'll go back to number 4, and then for once actually be a real mother, right? Never really went through the toilet training and bathing. And so this time around, number 4 really did it everything on my own, and then with the Shane.
Yep.
So it was actually, we are blessed. God is very kind and really give me a 4th chance to be really focused on the kid, and then have a real taste of what motherhood is like.
Yes. So how old is number 4 now? Like I know you always refer to them as like K1, K2, K3, K4.
Yeah, because it gels with their name, right?
Yes.
Because so we call them by the Chinese name. So
Yes.
Kang, Kai, Kun, and Kwan.
Nice.
So just K1. But all my friends cannot remember. So and someone is all start from the same alphabet. So I just K1, K2, K3, K4. So it's coming to 6 this
Wow.
year. So it's 6
Oh
this
my
year.
goodness, like time really flies.
Yeah, so that's why I say time really flies. And then the
Yes.
things, and also now I'm actually a lot more disciplined in the way I spend time. So with the COVID now, I actually don't have to wake up so early. So I actually started beginning of this year. I start around 6:30. I'll do my workout.
Yep.
So initially I woke up early because I need to supervise them to eat breakfast, because they don't like to eat breakfast.
Yes.
But then I felt very bored sitting there watching them eat. Then I start doing workout. Then I came across this 30-day challenge, get fit program. Then I just started doing it. So it kind of like stuck.
Wow.
So now it's not so good that because I don't have wake up at 6:30. So now I wake up at 7:30, 7:45. So it's not so disciplined now. But today I really get up to do this because so that I can really enjoy the burger. because I ate most burger before. It was really, really nice. I really like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're doing this 30-day challenge. Maybe you want to share with the rest of us. Like I guess some of us can start doing this since our circuit breaker has been extended.
Yeah. So it's actually so I found it online. It's on Women's Health.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a 20-minute workout that you just need your yoga mat.
Oh,
Right. And
nice.
then you just need a yoga mat, and then every day there's a different program, and it's 30
Nice.
minutes, it's 20-minute long. So it's actually pretty fast. So now I will do 2 runs of it. So at least you increase the repetitions. And every day, so sometimes you train the whole body, sometimes you train upper body, sometimes you train your core. So my goal is to program is 30 minutes right now.
Yeah.
My goal right now is to make sure that I can do proper push-ups.
Oh,
so now I
wow.
can do 1. I'm trying to get up to 5.
No, I think that's amazing. Like, I mean, like the 40 years of my life, I've never been able to do a push-up. So,
So now that's my goal. I just want to do a proper push-up, right? And remember last time we went to do the yoga for one of our forum retreat.
yes.
When you mentioned that we have no core, I realized, yeah, my core is damn weak. So I'm like trying to train it now, and it's really, really hard. I think bluntly, the pregnancy no help. I remember when I was young, I could do sit-up just like that, right?
Yes.
Now it's really, really hard.
I know what you mean. Like when I'm young, right, I always say that, I just need to do some crunches and that's it. Like my stomach will be back flat again. Like that's never happening nowadays. Oh my goodness.
So have to really put in the effort to do it. And then you also have to, so what is a good thing about it now? So I used to really curb my carb intake, just try to lose that 1-2 kg. And I even went for acupuncture and all this, right?
Yes.
But
I
now with
remember
the
how
workout, I
acupuncture.
realized I feel a lot happier eating. I'm not curbing food that much. So like the day with the Hinghua noodle, I ate like crazy. But so honestly, my weight is not improving.
No, I mean you are so slim now, and I mean
My weight is not improving.
the
So my
photo
weight
shoots you have
actually,
been doing, like you look
since all
amazing.
friends here, I'll just directly say my weight is 63 and it's not going down. I want to hit 60, it doesn't go down.
This is a public
Yeah.
interview, but yes, thanks for sharing.
But the thing is, I realized my volume is increasing, the shape is improving.
Yes.
So go back to physics, right? So which means I'm getting denser, which is good because for our age, bone density go up actually is all right. But you just eat a lot happily. You don't really worry that much, and then you don't increase in volume. And at this age, we care a lot about shape and volume. I know the D equals to M over V. My volume go down, dense go up, but mass not improving lah. Mass no change. So I'm happy.
Since we are having this circuit breaker, right? We probably the next round we can have you lead some exercises.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people who have joined us actually. Like I see Alvin, Felicia, Edmund, Desmond, Pinkham, Shirley. Yeah, quite a lot of our common friends actually. So guys, please thumbs up, like this, like feel free to share, and please do ask any questions that you might have, because we are going to have time for questions as well. So like I was telling Ning, like the way we want to be doing this is it's as if you all are like eavesdropping into our conversation. So we want it to be like very intimate, and so just feel free to ask your questions. We'll get back to you. However, like now I really want to zoom into the next part, right, which you say that okay, then after selling the business, and then like looking for various things to like see what makes sense for you. So and you say you have also been doing some investing in startups as well lah. Yeah, so maybe you want to share a bit about that, and from that how you decided to start AngelCentral. And oh, by the way, I must say I love like your title, because right, your title is like Chief Angel, right? And then like my title is Chief Cupid, right? So I was like, okay, so cool. Like Chief Angel meets Chief Cupid today. Okay, but anyways, so then why did you and Der Shing decide to start AngelCentral? Yeah.
So that period of time when we're trying to figure things out on what to do with ourselves. So we tried social work, we tried volunteer work, we tried sitting on boards and stuff. Then you feel like you're the bystander in everything. The contrast to previously running your business and on top of everything and with so much decisions to make, versus now, I would suggest you do this in the next 6 months, and then whether it happens or not is really up to them. So it made me very, in a sense, it's very unbalanced and you feel very unfulfilled. But then the thing is, I realized that is actually the part that we concretely can contribute. And so we were actually seeing a lot of startups refer startups, friends refer startups, and then when in the process of working with them, we hear a lot of their pains. And then so I think my treasure trove is really my 14 years of running a business, and then between Der Shing and me, it's 14 plus 14, 28 years of helping them. So startups are very cute, like they come to us, they get a bundle. then that work, right? Then after that, they get comfortable with us, and then they share more. Even for startup we don't really know very well, they will actually they'll share very heartfelt issues, heartfelt problems, and then we also come to realize half the time the problem is because of the investors. Because investors don't, especially if the investors are not from the ecosystem or part of our economy, that the big number of people who can invest are actually more from the traditional family offices or the traditional industries. So there's that big gap of how they see business should be run and the sense of ownership and the practices. And I think in early 2010s, you have a huge number of young people really seeing this as a interesting career path. So there's a big gap of perception, and then plus this whole concept of venture investment coming in from the West. That is the bridge that I think that we could build. So that's how it got us started. And then when it got started, it was also, in a sense, time filler. So while we're investing in startups, friends start asking, people start referring, we start sharing. Then after a while, you start organizing pitch days, just closed door, startups, everything. Because our bullets are also controlled, right? So one thing I also realized in this whole thing, even when you're asset owner, it's not like you have a gene sample one, so you still got to be disciplined and plan for it. So we came out with some methodology and discipline, portfolio thinking. So we started sharing that. Then it kind of took a life of its own. Then before we knew it, I think 2017, we had almost about 200 people on our community. Wow. So between Der Shing and me, we basically just put about some time together every quarter, organize one pitch day, one workshop, and we just, I think, raised about $2+ million, almost $3 million for a couple of startups. Then we realized that maybe we're onto something, and since we enjoy this part, and then this is a gap that we don't see being fulfilled in this part of the world, so why don't we just structure it better? So it was, at the time, we just thought, try it out, see whether it works. But the key thing is, I want to be able to hire people. I mean, we can fund it for a while, but key thing is you need to have people really watching it all the time. So we hired our first headcount, and then after that, we brought in a product manager to build the platform as well. I know my Lao Ben Hang, right, is build platform. So the thing is, I mean, very honestly speaking, if we have to deal with the investors one-on-one, it's going to be very hard. You can't really help that number of investors. You can't really help that big scale of founders. So building a platform is a way to go. And so it kind of like just one thing led to another, and it is taking shape. And the reason why I really enjoy this is really, so on the founder side, bluntly speaking, I miss the busyness of running a business. But I don't enjoy the maintenance of a business, because the sayanging and then all these things, those are actually tough. So now I live through the founders, right? I live vicariously through the founders I work with, and then you support them, you talk to them, and just like even for COVID, a lot of them actually, it's really not easy. And I think back to my SARS day, think it back to my I mean, we went through that period of time, right? I mean, not as broad based as now. This time I think everyone is hit. But I guess some of the mindset, some of the, really just ask them, bluntly tell them that please go and sleep.
That's very good advice. So to founders that's watching this right now, things are difficult, but you still need to do self-care.
You really not, because you got to lead yourself out of this. If you don't lead yourself out, you can't lead your company, you can't lead your family, and all this. So that's how we got together. And then now also, that's why I also got very comfortable running webinars, because all our things are got to go online, right? Our pitch days are online, our programs are online, and our workshop, how to do angel investing, is online. Nice. I mean, webinars and all this.
So Ning, I mean, it's like just commenting on one of the things that you have shared. Like, I totally agree. I mean, like being an entrepreneur myself, like having been through a startup and working with investors and angels and things like that. I think what you have said makes so much sense. That because sometimes when you work with certain investors, they might not have been in the trenches before, so it's like they don't really understand how it is. But like really working with investors that have been entrepreneurs, who are still entrepreneurs, they have been in the trenches, they know how it is lah. So
Yeah,
you a very different perspective. So I think definitely all your startup are in very good hands, because like I have even during your job central day, I have been in contact with you and Der Shing before. So I think that's awesome. So I mean, for some of our friends who are listening in right now, I mean, we do have quite a number of people who have joined us. So if they are looking to join a pitch days, or even if they are looking to like be part of like the angel group that you have set up, like what should they do, where can they go, or when is your next, like you say, like now you're doing a lot of webinars and a lot of like everything gone online, like where can they get more information about that?
yeah. So we actually are running one webinar, a 90-minute webinar next week. Just go to the website. So because we're quite lean, so in total we have 2 full-time headcount, 3 part-time partners working on this.
Yes.
So we try to make sure that the platform really is a DIY service and everything you can find from there.
Yeah.
Der Shing is teaching 90 minutes condensed capsule-like.
I like it. 19 minutes are very precise.
90, 90, 90,
90,
90
yeah.
minutes.
I know,
Yeah,
like wow,
90,
19 minutes. Okay.
19 minutes cannot talk anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually our workshop is 3 to 4 hours long.
Yes.
Because webinar, you can't sit through 3 to 4 hours, it's impossible, right? So we condense the content and try to make sure it doesn't talk too fast.
Yes.
So we're running one next week. You can go online. I think it's
So it's
actually
AngelCentral dot.
AngelCentral website. So we are selling the tickets through PitX. So that program, actually, the idea is actually, if you're founders, you can join us. It will help you to understand the investor mindset and why we ask for certain things. Because now I sit on the other side of the table. Now I understand why certain things are done certain way. So that's why I think we play the translator role.
Nice.
But Der Shing is a smarter one, so he will do the introduction.
Der Shing, you watching this?
So he's a brain. I mean, within a relationship, he's very sharp, he's very fast. But usually I'm the one who sends the direction. So we always say he's the head, I'm the neck. And point him, then
it's always the question, right? Which is more important, the head or the neck?
The head gets things through, but the neck tells you where to look. Yes.
And the neck supports the head. Okay, so before we come back to that and talk a bit more about you and Der Shing, I would like to really go into HBL, because I think like we have a lot of people who have dialed in, and I think a lot of them are parents as well, like us. And obviously it's like I'm like always like so amazed, and whenever I think of you, I'm like, oh my goodness, like 4 kids, and then not 4 kids but 4 boys. So okay, I know K4, your youngest, is 6. Like how old are the rest of them?
My oldest is 18, so he's supposed to do his A-level this year. So the second one is 17, so he's in J1. Then number 3 is doing PSLE this year.
Wow.
So they all got discount on their syllabus. Also, I think all quite happy. But this is number 2 was telling number 3 that the maths that the topics that got cut, right, are the 送分题. So you loogi actually.
It's so funny. Also, they have already said like what are the topics that's going to be cut and things like that.
Most likely so I think the maths that they've already announced for PSLE syllabus are cutting the last 2 topics. The graphs and I don't know. So actually so dealing with the 4 boys, I am so when we were working, and I'm fully so I was brought up with a very strict approach family. So cane is something that is in a household item to buy, to own this, and definitely it's in use. So I'm actually very strict with the kids. And I think especially boys, actually sometimes when they were young, it's really hard to get them to understand certain things. You just need them to understand what is wrong first. But when they're older, we lay off on the literally the disciplinary actions, but we focus more on explaining why it cannot be done. But maybe my age, and also now number 4 is so small, so we are a lot more tolerant. So it's a lot more I think. And so my number 2 especially, last time if I did that, I think I would have gotten 3 strokes already. Then I'm like, yeah, now he's not getting it, so that's it. No need to talk a bit more.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask you, like would the older boys feel that now you are like very chill with the youngest one?
Yeah. So they did directly feedback in a very sarcastic manner sometimes. So you understand their feelings. So you have to look after that as well, right? But I
Okay.
think it's quite okay lah. I think they also understand now because we are more leeway, we are more patient, so they're fine. I think what is not so again is the best thing I would say. The kids are not that bad in this whole COVID. I think because they have each other to squabble with, to fight with,
Yeah.
and then we really stick to the routine, as in you get
Mm.
up 8 o'clock, you go through your school, what you need to go to school. And so the older three are very disciplined. So number four actually is still in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So kindergarten, no home based learning. The teacher just basically give you all the homework, so I had to sit down with him to go through the strokes, the counting and everything.
Yeah.
um, but we finished it already, so now I need to go. I'm just thinking how to find Popular to buy assessment. I'm printing materials for him to doing. So last night we did Jess. Jess did the live streaming of.
Yes. Yeah.
What
So
we
Jess
did
is like
last
one of
night.
our common friends. So she did a live stream of a painter
Yeah,
really
painted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So last night we were doing that.
Yeah.
Then yeah. So
Oh,
it's really
yeah.
just try to do things together with them.
So I
And
think probably a lot of the parents who are watching right now, right, one of their questions would be, you mentioned just now your first three, which is the K1, K2, K3, 18, 17, and 12, they are very disciplined and then they have their schedule, So maybe I think a lot of people are curious, like, how do you teach them to have that schedule, or like, what is that schedule? Like, how do you instill that sort of discipline in them?
mm, I think it started from quite young. So I actually so very openly, when I'm in primary schools, we're a lot stricter. And I think since they hit sec 1, right, I actually hands off already. And you don't really do that because especially boys at the age, I think the hormones and the growth, you need to have a different ways to work with them. But before, when they were primary one, I think the strictness is one thing, and also enforcing discipline. And when I say certain thing needs to be done, it needs to be done. And if not, we really need to sit down and talk about it. So they know that from both the father and me, that is the key message. And the thing is, the two of us need to sing the same song. So when K1 was a lot smaller, when we started being parent, it was actually very hard because he grew up. My husband is I had the 教育. My in-laws were actually very very loving, but on the other hand, for me, is I don't finish my food, I get caned, right? So we came from very different background. So two of us need to have the same approach, and then so we need to come up with some set of rule framework that we work with.
Yes.
But I mean, I see the way you work with Coram, and you are a lot more patient than me.
Really? What gives you that thought?
Because you actually was bad. So I mean, I'm just thinking back to how I work with them when we were working, right? I really didn't have the energy. I didn't have the patience to really go through to explain and all this. So when they were young, actually, it was really very strict. And then but of course, it's carrot and stick, right? I had a star chart. When you hear how many stars, then we're trying to, in a sense, we're bribing them to do all these things. But I think we are very lucky in the sense, Kang, the first one, he's very disciplined. So after a while, so sometimes you also will do, so while we try to discourage parents from comparing, we sometimes will say, you see, Gogo can do this, why can't you? So you try not to do it on the academic sense. But I'm more, you see, Gogo's desk is so clean. Why can't you do the same thing? So you try to do that and try to encourage that.
Like positive modeling as well, right? Because I mean, definitely from like what you've shared with me, and I've seen like on like all your Facebook posts, your family holidays, I can see the boys are very close. So I'm sure like when they see Coco like behave this way, they also like look up to Coco, and I think Coco also helped them with it as well, right? So it's positive modeling and like all of them like helping each other out.
And I think one thing that I feel is, so I come from very traditional Chinese, Taiwanese family, right? And I realized when I was growing up, we never hug, we never kiss our parents and all this. But I see that from my in-law side, my husband's family, it's not the way. And I find that really hugging your children makes a big difference. just morning hug. So my big boys, I still hug them before sleep, and then they make sure the kids good night and stuff. Then my mom is like 这样大了, but it's I feel that they actually keep the relationship close, and you can joke with them and say funny things, and then sometimes they know that actually I love bubble tea, and but my husband doesn't approve. So like when you say fat burger, the reason why I say yes is because I'm not allowed to eat it actually most of the time. Husband is very particular about healthy eating. So my number two will actually, Mommy, I'm buying something back tonight, so that we can share.
Oh, so
when he will go to school, he will make sure he leave half a cup, then he'll bring back and share with me. Yeah.
Now must ask like K1 to K4 to like make bubble tea at home for mommy already.
Draw on the cup, right? Just draw on the cup.
Draw on the cup. No, but I'm so encouraged to hear from you that like your 18 and 17-year-olds like still hug you and things like that, because like Coram and I, like we are very close, and then like it's like a lot of hugs, right? Then I always say, so you're going to hug mommy forever, right? Even when you are like a teenager, when you're like much taller than mommy. So okay, hope.
Yeah, so the only thing is actually Kai now is a bit insulting. He always stoop down to hug me. I'm like, I'm not that short, You don't have to stoop down.
How much taller is he than you now?
He's 186, so he's easily 15 cm taller than me.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, you don't have to do that. I'm not that. You do that to other people shorter than it's fine, but you don't have to do that to me.
He just want to remind you, see, mommy, now I'm looking down on you.
Yes, now I'm looking down on you, yeah. So actually, when I think the challenge was actually after they became teenagers, right? You have to have that change in style, but at the same time, you still need to make sure that. So it's the tone of voice that you're using. So a lot of things that you want to talk, you can no longer say you go and do this and that. It's like, I want to do this. Can we just do it together and make sure? But of course, they know for me when I say things like that, it means it's not negotiable. They still know what is the outcome that I'm looking for.
They learn the signal. Okay, when mommy say this way, actually she says a nice way, but she expect me to do certain things.
Yeah. So it's actually even harder for Der Shing also, because Der Shing's personality is also quite authoritative.
Yes.
So when we had the switch, right? Well, you see the two of us sometimes look at each other like, wow, it's demanding. It's really really hard, because. So I say this a lot of times, you also heard it before. It's different from managing staff. Staff doesn't work out, you move on, right? You either change company, you change job. This one, you cannot do any of that, right? You have to stick to it, and you, by hook or by crook, you got to make sure you work out, right?
Yep.
So you really have to adapt on your end, because the fact is we should know better how to deal with them. So we need to do the adjustment. Yeah. So
well,
I
think this is great advice, because a lot of people like making that transition. I mean, even for me, right? Like Horam is like turning 14 end of this year. Like how you deal with them when they are like pre-teens or even kids, and then moving into teens, and like you say, like boys, with the hormones and things like that. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of say that when they have teenage boys, like all they hear is like grunting. Like they don't talk anymore, and they just kind of shut down. But what I'm hearing from you is really the difference, the different ways to dealing with them.
So my first one also shut down. My first one is man of little words. He's always That's it. What does mean, right? You got to keep pushing, and you got to really persist. But you have to persist and pester him for something. So one thing that we started doing a couple of years ago is at dinner. Everybody must say something about what happened today. So we'll change adjective lah. So what is the most interesting thing today? What is something that you learned today, kind of thing. But now a bit tricky. So now it's about how was your virtual school today? So now we had to scoop down to a lot more, but we still try to continue with that.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, because I think a lot of times, right, like parents will just ask kids like, how was your day? Like what do you do in school? And it's like you just get things like, it was good, it was fine, like nothing, right? But I think like you say, just really zooming in on something like, what did you do? Like how did you feel? Like what was the best thing that happened? Like this would definitely like get a lot more better response, and something that you can get into.
Yeah. So you also notice the differences in the children's personality. So my Kai is a lot more outspoken, and he's a lot more willing to share. So he will actually say a lot. And Kun starting to share more. So because Kun is also, you can see the pattern. He's a man of little words too. So but the thing is, he can see from number two that, you know, by sharing this, you actually sometimes can talk about certain things. Then you just talk. So he start to open up, he start to talk about his friends and all this. And then number four, forever vying for attention. So all the more he will say things, right? So he would, so it's in a sense trying to get them to share and trying to learn how to express. Yeah. Then Kang also, now he will talk a lot more, but Kang still need a lot more probing. Then so you have to be comfortable to have for that complete silence when he's thinking. So I had to start hinting that, you know, we're going to do this every day. Can you just prepare in advance?
I like that, you know, like the corporate is back there, you know, it's like, guys, please, you know, prepare this for our meeting tomorrow. Okay, just want to do a shout out. Like quite a number of people have joined us as well. Like Annie, you know, Annie Cole. Yeah, Elaine Kim has joined us. Piers, yeah, hi guys, you know, thanks for joining us. So now I want to switch gear a bit because, you know, like I know a lot of us, not a lot of us, most of us now, right? We are all like working from home, and like because circuit breaker, right? You're not supposed to like work in your office and things like that. And I think unlike both of us, which we, you know, like started a business with our husband, you know, we have been like working with our husband like 24/7, right? I think a lot of people maybe are not used to like working at home with their spouse. And in fact, you know, like if you read news, like I mean in China or even in US, like apparently divorce rates are on the rise because of like this COVID-19. Because, you know, people have never been in the same place with their spouse for such a long time. Because if you think about it, like previously maybe people spend 3-4 hours a day with their spouse, and that's already considered quite a lot. But now it's like it's 24/7. Yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to tap on your, you know, like your experience, you know, like what are some of the advice you have, or like what are some of the, you know, best practices that you have for our couples out there who are now, you know, thrown in working together with their spouse like 24/7, or being in the same place. Yeah.
Um, so so I think we're just very used to working with each other together. So of course conflicts do happen, right? But I think we had 15 years to work it out. So we're together for that long, right? So working together for that long. So we kind of like work out the kinks along the way. But I think what probably, so at the start we actually have rules about, you know, how much can we talk about work at home and all. But I think all those didn't work I think within 6 months of implementing it in early 2000, it really didn't work already, right?
So this is the
So
thing.
along the way, I think
It's like not all things work, but just try it out first, right? See what works and what doesn't.
just try it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, so along the way, I think it's more of you learn to know that there's some things that he needs to do, there's some things I need to do. And then you have, so actually we don't have personal working space. So I'm actually using the kids' study room. So we always work on the dining table. And then after a while, you just know that, I mean, so the good thing, so personally, I find the best thing about working with a husband is that I know what he's working on and he knows what I'm working on. And you learn to respect that, and you learn to, but of course there's certain things that I really don't like he really doesn't like me leaving things everywhere. I'm super messy. I always think that he get very unhappy. Then I'm like, you know, so but he learned to accept that, and then he learned to pack up after me. Then I also feel bad whenever I see him doing that. Then I'll remind myself that I cannot do that. And then, you know, he's very particular about at the meeting you need to be focused, you're not distracted and all this. So we learn to respect and know the buttons. You know what triggers him and what triggers off, and then you also learn not to take each other for granted. And then also the thing is, I mean, honestly, it's very, I mean, it's quite sad for me to hear the divorce rate is going up. And I think, I mean, for us, for Catholics, I think I really believe that. So he really pushed through this idea in me. In life, we are given each other, and I hope I crook, gotta work out, because there's no option to. So I think that is the baseline that we have. There's no second path, and like it or not, no matter how fierce the fight is, you work it out. Yeah. So I think that is the baseline we have. So sometimes we can get into quite heated discussions. But because we don't have a back door, put it this way, and that is something that we both accept.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. Like what you have said, like in life, you're given each other, and
Yeah.
there's no second choice, like.
So I mean, in a sense, you can say that's an artificial limit we put ourselves, but that's a commitment I have for him and for myself. And besides, now I have four kids. I'm also responsible for them. And I mean, I know it's common to have two dads and two moms nowadays. I see some of the kids. I think it's really not easy for them. They are resilient enough. They will figure a way out to adapt to this. But I think really it's not the best way. I think challenging in any sense of the word, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that. I think that's definitely a great reminder. We have more people who have joined us. Jody, you remember Jody?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So guys, please feel free to like, share your love with us. Like ask questions. Because we are going to answer some of your questions as well. So I mean, on that note, Ning, I think you have answered my question. So one of my question is like, what is true love? Yeah. So I think you have answered that.
I actually don't know what's true love. I think I mean I am never the romantic type, right? And I'm always the pragmatic sort of person.
Yeah.
But it's really through the Shing I learned a lot. And then the fact that he took his bet with me, and he gave me a lot of his patience, and he gave me a lot of his deep thinking and his commitment in life. I think that's the greatest gift I have in life from him. And I think it's only, I mean, you can have a lot of things in life if you're forever thinking about what you can have in life. And I prefer to work with what I have and make it as best as possible. And we can forever think about what's out there and, whether the tall, dark, and handsome guy, like when I was 18 years old. But you see, 3 times the age now already.
Some guy what?
He hair all white now already.
Doing a call.
Yeah, I'm on call now. Hey, go my, is it go my? Yeah, okay.
Doing
So,
call.
yeah.
Doing what call?
Yeah. Yeah. So
On note, right? Like I mean, you have 4 boys, and I mean, some of them are in the dating age already. I don't. So okay.
very hard adjustment for me. Okay. Now I got to lend him a credit card to buy food for the girlfriend.
Oh, got girlfriend already, ah. Nice.
With
So-
a lot of guidance from the father.
A lot of. I think my next interview, maybe I should ask Der Shing. Ask him, how do you give guidance to your teenage son on dating? But anyway, on your side, what advice would you have maybe for singles out there on finding love? Based on like your own experience or based on what you see right out there now.
So I met Der Shing in uni, right? So and then I realized actually a lot of my friends, you guys met in uni, and then my friends actually. So I mean, it's not possible for us to go back to uni days, but I'm just thinking whether they could find themselves in non-threatening environment where they can be really themselves. Because if they can be really themselves, then the other party are most likely in their most natural and comfortable state, right? Because I think working life, most of us, we have a working life persona.
Yeah.
And then you have a mask, and it's actually very difficult to really get to know a person. So if you can find settings, environments where you're comfortable, and then you really can really be yourself, and then someone who's attracted by your natural self, I think you are going to be a lot more comfortable. You don't have to upkeep that image, right? Yeah. So that's what I in fact, some of my younger colleagues, when they asked, I also say the same thing. But AngelCentral, we have a lot of couples who got to.
Yeah, because like AngelCentral at the time, like your team members are all like quite young, right? Like usually like fresh out of uni and things like that. Yeah.
I think within AngelCentral, I know a few couples got together. I know a few that got married with kids.
Wow.
now. Yeah. So it's really finding environments that you can be comfortable and authentic in. So maybe in Job Central, because we're so strict about performance, other than performance, you cannot be anything else.
But I really love like what you have said lah. Like, and I agree with you. That's why I always tell people, I say uni is like the best place to meet people, because like you say, it's like non-threatening. You can really be yourself, and then like once you like get out there into the society, like usually people do put on like a facade of some sort and things like that. And I'm so glad that you allow your kids to date, because like a lot of people, they'll tell me like, no, I will only allow my kids to date when they're 21 or when they're out of army. Then they'll be like part of the group of people, right, who like never allow their kids to date. And then once the kid is working, right, then they say, hey, when are you getting married? Like, hello, how you expect like that gap to be crossed, right? Yeah.
I think for me it was actually, so I remember when I was growing up, right? I mean, my father was very strict. I mean, not really strict, like he was not home most of the time. So actually, my own social life was actually extremely simple because I don't socialize a lot. I'm a very quiet one. After school, I go home straight away, right? One thing I only know that we only go out for karaoke on weekends. But now looking, I mean, honestly, when we found out by accident that he has this crush,
Yeah.
he went to J1, and then he was so into it. And I was like, is it because you just came out from boys' school and then you start interacting? And then, so you wonder what is going on. So then at the back of my mind, I still cannot accept that he has a crush on a girl. And then the father straight away went into how to ask her out, how to buy her thing. And then I'm like, it's like, it was a, I like jump over a cliff and then still don't know what happened, right? And then you feel quite worried because sometimes come back gloomy and then you don't know what happened today in school. Then you follow on the side, and then at the same time you try to help, you try to encourage, and then everyone. So the main thing is that you don't give up a tree for a forest, and then it's okay. But then I realized it's not respecting him, right? I mean, men can feel that way because it's just trying to say that it's her loss, it's not your loss, kind of thing. But it's not respecting the personal feeling, because in a sense it's my choice to like this girl, and then if she doesn't like me back, then what does it mean for me? What there's this whole confidence thing. So I was like thinking about all this, but it's really very difficult watching from the side. So you try to be encouraging, and then you also worry about what's a girl like, and then what is it. It was actually very difficult.
Like,
I
sounds
was
very
rather quite shocked
nerve-wracking.
this time to attend.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, okay. I'm just like, now I kind of like imagining it, like maybe fast forward for me like another 4 5 years. It's like, am I going to be going through what you're going? Yeah.
Very. So I don't think I'm in any position to say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
I have no. I don't have any rights in this sense, right? I cannot. It's his life, but I think just end of the day, just have to trust that he's going to be responsible. And also, I think when he was Sec 1, I actually attended this briefing in the school that was talking about how. So the counselor, this statement stayed with me. The counselor said that she would rather the children go through their first BGR in front under her nose, because nowadays you don't know how they react to things.
Yep.
So you rather it happen in front of you and you help to guide through.
Yep.
Because I mean, very openly, we all see that, not that we are that much tougher, but a lot of kids, the way they handle setbacks nowadays are very different.
Yep.
So you want them to go through any roller coaster ride when they are with you, so that you have the confidence and they know how to deal with.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think like my parents probably they have that hindsight, because like in my teenage years, right, it's like very havoc lah, like we party and things like that, right? Then most people like have to like sneak in, sneak out of the house and things like that, right? My parents are the one that open our house to everybody. So after the partying, like all my drunk friends, like will be like strewn across our living room and things like that, right? So like you see, they rather know where you are, they rather know what is happening, rather than, who knows, like you are drunk somewhere in some alley somewhere. Yeah.
And also because they're all boys. So
Yes.
it's really important for them to respect themselves and respect the girl. And
Yes.
you have to have that conversation.
So, Ning, I'm just going to look at some questions. So we do have some questions here. One from Elaine. So Elaine say, okay, I need to open up my bigger. I can't see the question properly. So I think she is asking about what is the most important trait for yeah, thank you. Jamie has just passed me his phone. Okay. So Yiling says, Shao Ning, what's the character trait you think is most important in a life partner, especially when you're advising your kids? That's a good question.
So I would say it's whether they are good persons, as in integrity and how they treat their parents. Because I mean, it's not so much a filial piety, but it's the respect for the family and the closeness with the family that shows the how they grew up, and how that shows how in the future they are going to build the future family with you. So I look at relationship always with that whole thing. And so I go back to, as and also because there was a tradition in the sense that they still should be the pillar of support, right? But the thing is, if you're going to be so busy building relationships, you cannot 成家立业. So you should 先成家 and then 立业. Then the two of you can go and 立业 together, and you support to build your future together. So if the family value is not strong, I think it's go towards the family value. It's the value system of the person. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. You know, it's like Ning, when I'm talking to you, I'm like writing notes, I'm like wrote like I don't know how many like pages of
We
notes.
haven't met for too long already.
Okay, so before we end, like since this is called lunch date with Violet, right? But I mean, of course, if you're not having a lunch date with me or not having a lunch date with like your hubby, Der Shing, like
Yeah.
what who would be one person that you would like to have a lunch date with? I mean, not in a romantic sense, but maybe someone that you admire, someone that you would like to learn more from. Like, who would that person be and why?
So when just now when you asked me the question, I was thinking of my grandma. But then I thought it's really just more of trying to catch up with her because she passed away.
Yeah.
So maybe Amma will visit me tonight and in my dreams. But I think the two person that I thought about was actually Madame Curie, the lady who won the two Nobel Prizes. And I have always been very curious about her because she was born in a period where actually girls are not allowed to study in university. And so because of that, she has to leave home. So I because I'm curious about her, I want to borrow books and then get the kids to read, right? So that's why I know this now. So she went through the period when she was not, girls are not encouraged to study, and she has to leave home to go to France to study because in Poland they were not allowed in uni. And then from there, she's super intelligent, she's super hardworking. And then from there, she met her husband, and then they discovered the two elements. And in that whole process, how did she push on, right? And then she became the first women lecturer, women professor in I can't pronounce the French name in the school that she was, in the end, she was teaching. So it's that whole journey. And I mean, as a woman, I mean, I don't go into the whole Me Too thing. Somebody came into the door. I'm on the call and yes, yeah, that I'm not eating. So it's I want to have a lunch with her because I want to know what pushed her on, and I want to know what got her to persist. And she way overshined every person, right? And then what is it that make her feel that she doesn't have to be a normal girl when a normal girl is not, a normal girl would not have done what she did, right? So she's one person I thought of that, yeah, because even in current setting, I would say that even in startup, so couple of years ago, you see this whole Me Too thing, women have left opportunity and all this. I mean, openly, I don't think I experienced that. But then again, nobody ever invested in us, so we never had an investor relation that is discriminates women for me to even contemplate. But in the whole process, you do see that some lady, when they went over extremely emphasis on the gender issue, they kind of corner themselves into this Amazonian women thing, I must fight for women thing. But on the other hand, is you just got to deal with it. You can't change things overnight, right? I mean, you start your baby step, but you can't change things overnight. But the thing is, what is the thing that kept her continuing with that? So we try in our setting to make sure that we give equal opportunities, but the language of the environment is a masculine language.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
you need to recognize that.
Yeah. I think what you have said is so true, and I mean, like, that's what I have learned from my mentor Miss Claire Chiang as well, like which is, I mean, you can keep fighting the environment, right, like you say, but the truth of the matter is that's how the environment is going to be. It's like, how are you going to work with that environment and get what you want rather than just constantly fighting it, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't
And also, I need to let you know this. I came to the realization because of Jamie.
Oh.
Because in one of the forum we were talking about this, and she was one who actually shared the evolution, biological evolution, and the conclusion he gave me was, it took us millions of years to become like this. It's not something that we can change in a matter of years.
Yeah.
So it's something that you cannot fight. You have to start somewhere, but the thing is, you can't expedite, right? So you have to deal with it yourself. And what is it that you can do to make things better for yourself? Yeah. So Jamie is the one who helped me with this, because I was struggling with this a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jamie is listening right now. So thanks, Ning. I mean, like, this has been an amazing lunch date, and like, I think, like, it really went like the way I had in my mind, like, because like, I still remember, like, our first lunch date. It was, I'm not sure if you remember, it was at Borders, and it was in this Japanese restaurant called Sun with Moon, or Sun and Moon, or something like that. I think those were like one of the first times that we really like connected. And after that, we have been meeting up, we have been like having conversations, and even though sometimes we'll just catch up like at the site, I always will learn something from your sharing. And similarly today, like I said, I've been like taking down a lot of notes. Like it's always very nice to hear your insights on like the different topics. And today, we have covered so many things, and like would love to like have another lunch review in private in future, to really go even deeper into some of these items. So thank you for being here with us. Yes, I will leave you to enjoy your fat burger now. I'm sorry the boys like, like go and take everything else away already. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll enjoy like the food as well. So that's all, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We are going to have more sessions. The next one is going to be on Monday with another very good friend of mine, Lin Tan. We'll be talking about love, lost, and found. And the following Friday, we are going to have Yu Yi. So Yu Yi is a TV presenter, and she'll be sharing with us about finding your passion. Yep. So stay tuned. Thank you, Ning. Okay, say hi to Der Shing and the boys for me. Bye.
Yes. Thanks for having this.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Back healthy and glowing.
Yeah. Makeup and good lighting help. Okay, bye.